I've rehydrated the apricots. I put them in this measuring cup, covered them with water, microwaved them for 2 minutes. So you can see the water was absorbed a lot by the apricots. They're like little sponges. They soaked up so much water, but we want to strain off the rest of it. All right, and so get all that excess water off, and then we want to cut these into small little squares. This is about the size of a raisin. So I'm going to keep the strainer set aside because I'm going to use that to strain the custard or pudding we made, because there might be chunks in it. And, you know, here's the size of a raisin. This is a plumped up raisin and rehydrated. So we want them about the same size. So I'm probably just going to cut each apricot in half down the middle, and then, you know, maybe in like this. So that way they're about the same size as the raisins. So we can have a whole bunch of, you know, we don't want them any bigger than a raisin, and that way they're bite-sized when they're inside the kunafa. So I'm gonna take a couple minutes and cut all of those. So our pudding has set up quite thickly, it's good. You can see there's some lumps in there. So we're gonna use the strainer to get out any of those lumps. That might be some of the cornstarch. And definitely want to get rid of the lumps. And then we'll fold in our dried fruits. And I'll use the spatula to scrape it along here and get that completely strained out. Here's our strained custard pudding, and I'm going to just fold in our dried fruit, the apricots and the golden raisin, and then that way this will be ready to pour into the kunafa when I'm ready to assemble it. So here in our recipe, it calls for 1 pound of kunafa, which we were not able to find despite looking at many places. So what instead I was able to get was this fried vermicelli. Now that's 7 ounces, and this recipe calls for 1 pound of kunafa. I have 2 containers, 2 packages of this. So 7 plus 7 is 14. So we're a little short, but I'm hoping that it'll be enough. And what we need to do with the vermicelli, though, is we're gonna crack, what is this? We're gonna crumble, sorry, that was the word I was looking for, crumble it up. We want about 1-inch pieces, so you don't wanna make it super fine, but you want about 1-inch piece shreds of the rice vermicelli. And we're gonna pour over our 1 cup of clarified butter over that. So I'm gonna break this up. And the next package of it, and this should all be enough for this size pan. So the rice vermicelli has been broken up. I'm gonna add in our clarified butter, stir it all together, and then I'm gonna put half of it into our pan and press it down. So here's our pan, it's 11-inch. Normally, if you have an 11-inch cake pan, that would probably be better, but I didn't have an 11-inch cake pan. So this is a tin, this is like a lasagna baking pan, but it's 11 inches, so I'm gonna use that, and that should be enough. All right, so I completely stirred in the clarified butter, and I put half into our baking dish, and now I'm just gonna spread it out evenly on the bottom and press it down firmly, and then I'll be able to pour in the custard. So our custard has really thickened, and so I'm pouring it in, and we're gonna spread that around. We don't wanna go completely to the edge, and then we're gonna top with the rest of the rice vermicelli. All right, so I spread that around, and now I'm gonna top with the rest of the vermicelli. So I'm just gonna put dollops of it all over the top, and then I will gently, actually I'm just gonna use my hand, that'll be easier. I'm just gonna gently sprinkle it all over the top, and when I have it completely covered, I'll just lightly press down to make it all stick together. And then we're gonna put it into the 375-degree oven. There we go, all ready to go into our 375-degree oven. Let's get it in there and bake. We're gonna bake till it's golden brown. All right, the timer has gone off, and we've got our kunafa. Look at that, Nice golden brown on the edges, that's what we're looking for. That was 35 minutes at 375 degrees. We're gonna take this out, and here I've got our syrup. We're just gonna let it cool off for a minute before I pour the syrup all over it. But do you see that beautiful golden brown color? All right, that's what we're looking for. We don't wanna leave it in any longer, it might burn. All right, so while the kunafa is still piping hot out of the oven, we have our syrup with the orange blossom water. Ooh, sorry. Started pouring before I should have finished talking. We want to sprinkle this on a little bit. We want to make sure we have enough to get over the whole entire thing. And there we go. This had lemon juice, it's water, sugar, rose water, orange blossom, and we're going to soak this into the kunafa. It's beautiful. Now, I'm going to get every single little bit. All right, there we go. There's a lot at this end. So I'm going to just tilt this a little bit. So hopefully the liquid syrup will go down to the other end. Anyhow, we're going to let that sit and cool off, and then it'll be ready to serve. Okay, guys, it's been sitting here cooling. The syrup is soaked in. And now we're just gonna cut a piece and serve it so you can see what it looks like. And then I will be the guinea pig and be the taste tester and tell you what I think. So, this looks so fantastic. All right, there you go. We have that layers of our rice vermicelli, and then our pudding in the middle with the apricots and raisins, and then another layer. And we soaked it with our syrup that was made with rose water, lemon, and orange blossom. So I'm not sure if you can see very well, but anyhow, looks absolutely delicious. Let me try it, and I can tell you right away whether or not it gets a thumbs up. Well, not sure if you can hear it, but it is very crunchy. And it really is very unusual and really delicious. I could eat this whole entire thing, I swear to God. It is so good. Oh, it's fantastic. So I'm glad that I did not put in more orange blossom into the pudding or the rose water. It's a nice balance. Nothing really stands out and says, oh, there's rose water in here. So it's all been balanced perfectly. And it is very, very good. I highly recommend this. This is so interesting. So anyhow, I hope you guys really enjoyed it and will be inspired to cook it. This, again, was a rather complicated recipe. We have, for this simple syrup, 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water, a squeeze of lemon, ½ teaspoon of orange blossom water, 1/4 teaspoon of rose water. We made that, and then our filling, the custard, was 1½ cups of whole milk, 1½ cups of heavy whipping cream, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 5 tablespoons of cornstarch. We didn't use any mastic. Instead, we used 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We made our custard, and then we added 2.75 ounces or ½ cup of golden raisins and 2.75 ounces of apricots that we rehydrated and chopped. We also rehydrated the golden raisins. Then we were not able to use the kunafa or the katafi dough. We couldn't find it, so instead we used rice vermicelli. We used 14 ounces of it and 1 cup of clarified butter. And so there you go, guys. Absolutely beautiful. Enjoy.